All right. Let's just kicking off the week. Hmm. Abstract art style. A string of buzzwords. Uh, and howdy. Yes. Texting while on camera. This is what we're doing now. All right. Looks like I'm done and live. And greetings and salutations. Today with you is White Bread Art Show, as always. And I would like to remind myself and congratulate myself with finishing finally that previous piece of artwork that we were doing for 4 streams in a row. All right, now that we're calm and everything's fine and that is completed, I can insert a little self shill fragment. You guys probably already bored. I have not been doing that because I've been losing my mind. But I would like to get back on that self advertising train because this is what the world is asking of every one of us. This is what Google is, just a huge advertising platform now. Can't search anything, you just get adverts for things you don't even need or care about. So, in that vein, that seems to be the standard, that seems to be the trend. I will be shoving useless sorry, yeah, like preparing. You should prepare beforehand. Anyways, I will be shoving useless books up your faces. All right, but personally, I do believe that art um, done genuinely um, does not pollute the world as much as just soulless, heartless, bereft of personality Chinese garbage that has definitely been that there have been corners been cut. Anyways, it's morning. I'm still waking up. I didn't have my coffee because I don't drink coffee as often as people do because it will shoot your cortisol up. Anyways, so that's why I'm so grumbly. All right. So I would like to remind you all, my dear listeners and people who are watching us, that white bread art, despite their satirical nature, does have products that we are peddling and shilling, but we wholeheartedly 100% stand by these products, the ones that we are shilling. Anyways, first on the agenda, of course, is the classic collection of drawings by White Bread, Volume 1. You've seen it, you didn't order it, why not? Um, this is a wonderful coffee table edition. It's thick, it's hard, it's everything a woman would dream of. All right, fine, I'm just being funny here. Can't you take a joke? Anyways, 150 pages, 148 drawings, no text, no writing, no nothing explaining you how to um, why is this like every time I get to this point of my speech, I forget that word. And I want to say something sophisticated and it doesn't come to me. Anyways, no one's telling you how to view and how to feel about this art. It's just you and the art in the intimate contact that you are making, connection. And this is what I feel like every time I don't brush my teeth. So, the moral of this presentation is brush your teeth regularly. Anyways, so as you can see, it's nice, it's colorful, it's premium paper, hey, premium ink, and it can all be yours for 32 hard copy, and the soft paperback is I think it's like 29.29, something like this. Has some sort of even occultist ring in the prices. Anyways, so volume 1 joined, of course, logically. Everything's always falling around here. by Volume 2, Collection of Drawings, Volume 2 by White Bread. So I'm going to put this down because these things are heavy. This is a significant piece of property. All right, same eggs button profile as we said in Russian, same thing. Here is a hardcover White Bread Art, Volume 2. Same thing, 150 pages, 148 drawings, all unique. Nothing's repeating itself, unless I forgot something and just recolored it differently. So I guess that would be called a variation. Anyways, premium quality, and White Bread stands by it. And by the way, you can order it unorthographed from Amazon if you would like to, and we will not get we will get barely any profit for it. Or you can contact us on White Bread Art Instagram and DM us, and then you can get a personalized copy with an autograph, even two, obviously, and even a personalized message if you would like to. Something silly from the White Bread couple. Anyways, you can see it's all here. I'm not going to show you all of it. I'll put this aside for a moment and show you. Obviously, we have two more. Third volume, colorful white bread. Sein Spiel goes for this one. No text, no telling you what to do, how to feel, how to think. It's just you and the art, and you get to appreciate it. It's big, it's colorful. There's no text. What can a modern man ask for more? It's pretty much kind of like looking at magazine, or just it's all pictures in here because people are a lot more. It's a lot easier for people to absorb pictures than to read texts these days. It seems like reading is a big chore for most of people. So you can consume your information in images, which a lot of you do because you watch movies, videos, and etc. So this is the way to subliminally influence your unconscious and put some sort of good message in there. We can hope. It will all depend on you. Anyways, that's the white bread way. White bread way. Jeez. Some of this, every time there's a phrase like where there's a V, there's a word that starts with a V, and then there's a word that starts with a W, and it's just like, I don't know, my hemispheres they just like misfire, and I always like confuse the pronunciation. Anyways, here they are. Here's me. Here's the slug. I don't know who this is. I just pictured it as me. I do have shins like that. Anyways, all right. So on this note, I will wrap up with the third one and the fourth one. Poor thing fell down. Let me push it out. And the most recent addition to the family of white bread is Volume 4, the wonderful screaming little monster that's most likely is being defecated onto. Of course, I'd be screaming, wouldn't you? Here's the back. Here's how thick it is. That's how big it is compared to my head and hair. Um, And the same thing goes here. You can have autographs all over it from us and personalized messages. If you would like to, you can contact us on Instagram, DM us, and or just order it online. You're a grown up, I hope. Sometimes we do get kids here, and you can tell in the chat room right away that it's a child writing or raging. Anyways, here it is. This is what it looks like inside. Everything's unique. Nothing really repeats itself. Different styles. My husband is evolving constantly in his ink, and I should hope so. I'm evolving in my coloring and becoming more and more creative with it. Anyway, same thing, 150 pages, 148 drawings, and every page is a drawing, no text, no filler, all killer. All right, so on this note, I will close this and we can finally get to coloring something new that I have not seen before. Um, Jasmine, 2 minutes ago. Howdy, Jasmine. How you go live on Instagram, Amazon, I mean, um, through your phone? Well, actually, I'm doing it through a streaming platform called StreamYard. I don't know exactly what you're asking. Are you asking me the methodology of how to go online, or how did I get the chance to go online? You need to apply for an Amazon influencer program and have like an X amount of number of followers, and then be allowed to stream. And then from there, you download the app and you start streaming either through your phone or with the help of streaming platforms. I mean, that's it. And Amazon customer started following. Thank you, Amazon customer. Let me just check. It seems like I got a message, and I don't know, some kind of garbage. All right. So this one is already completed. I'm just showing it off. No, I'm not showing it off. It's just here. I think I need to close it. Let me just quickly make sure that I exported it. What the fish puzzle? Let's see, A B C D E F. Oh, I didn't. All right. Well, let's then make sure that it's exported. I'm gonna quickly do that and colored. Yep. Save. And also for prophylactics, you always want to go back into that folder and just make sure that you got your image exported there. Um, sometimes technology makes mistakes, and you just don't want to rely on technology all the way. All right, Whirlpool eyes. So I suppose we could start with this little strange ducky, and these are the early works of my husband. He's actually drawn a lot since this. This is a folder with forgotten art, as I call it. Just the drawings that I forgot to color for different reasons, not because I didn't think they were worthy of coloring, but because we were moving, it was chaos, things were hectic. And when you have a lot of material, like for example with these drawings, sometimes things just slip from slip away from your attention and unfortunately get neglected. All right, so what I'm doing here right now, I copied it. I'm gonna work on the copy, which I always tell you to do. You never want to work on the original in order to you don't want to alter anything. So the next thing, oh geez, my husband's mm, sneezing. Um, it got drier in Texas, and it's everybody's noses noticed it. Suddenly, everyone's um, suffering from dust. Texas is great. I love so many things about it, and in the summer, it's wonderful because it's rather humid, Central Texas. But once that humidity goes away, unfortunately, a lot of dust comes out, and even our pup is suffering a little bit. All right, so what I'm doing here now is I'm gonna just quickly close these lines in order to separate the layers. And whenever there's a gap like this, I just go ahead and fill in the gap. Right. something like that. And basically, you just follow the line, bring it back to its more or less completion. Next thing I'm going to do here is I want to separate this dying or what kind of tree is this? This is like some sort of aggressive looking tree. Let's just separate it from the foreground and again get in here and make sure there's none of this separation or holes or I was gonna say cracks, not really a crack. But anyways, and as you can see, this was drawn by hand in ink on paper. You can see the ink bleeding into the paper fibers, which I always thought was pretty cool. Um, and let's see, I'm coloring it digitally. And I'm just going to make sure all of this is all right. Yeah, all of this is completed, finished, closed. What are the words I'm looking for? All right, so now there's this interesting head with floating, punctured kind of in a way, um, perforated. I mean, they're not really perforated because this is just drawn, but it's drawn in a interrupted pattern. So I definitely want to close this, close the face. I don't want any color escaping. The head, and I think I will have to do that thing that I'm not too thrilled to do is by outlining the eyes for the time being. I will color it and then I will have to go back and undo the damage. Well, let's just finish the foreground. All right, so separate that and almost feels like I could do a little goofy experimentation here, or maybe even more like let's make the width of the stroke thinner and see what I can do here. The problem with like thinner strokes, sometimes unwillingly, you can leave a little opening in the line and just not notice it. All right, so sometimes I like doing these and color them in a slightly different color, like a variation of the color that is main color in the foreground. I'll show you what I mean. Um, just creates a little bit more illusion of texture, I think. All right, now we're gonna just bring these together and I will undo it once I've colored them. But for now, let's see if I can non-intrusively bring all of this together. Um, hmm, not quite thrilled about this, but I can work with that and fix it. Now let's see. think we just I think I'll just do the outer lines here. So same thing here. Or maybe I just should bring this line like that a little bit. All right. So it looks about oh wait, here's a little something. Definitely don't want this. Every time you want to separate a layer, you should definitely double check for all these little gaps. Yeah, here's the word I was looking for, gaps. All right. Now, um, I think we're ready to get in here and see what we can do with it. All right. Let's see. Colors. Kind of like I want the tree to be a little more experimental color. Since this is obviously not a typical realistic um, tree, this does look a little bit creepy and a little magical. So we're just gonna bring out some of that weird magic in here. All right, and as you guys know, the ones that follow me, that I do like these contrary, opposite, contrasting colors. It's rather interesting. I'm gonna segue now, kind of. Like I just said, contrasting, contrary. Um, it's strange that these words have this prefix in them. That's the con prefix. And I wonder what the language is trying to convey. Contradictory, right? Everything that just pros and cons, the negative, the opposite, the adversary. Then you have some words like conversation. And the word with the prefix in it already implies that conversation sounds like it's the word that should be having contradictions in it, right? Like two people conversing, arguing sounds more like along the lines of arguing conversation. Because of that, no, this is just strictly, I'm not like, not making a study here. I do have a linguistic, and why do I always say that? I'm like one of those people, as a scientist, no, as a linguist, uh, as a dropout linguist. Actually, no, I finished it. I want to drop out. I should have dropped out. Education is utterly useless. Um, But at least I'm not in debt. I mean, like in America, most people who are receiving education are usually already up to their ears in debt. All right, tickle me pink. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I would also like to separate this sexy leg of hers and less pink, a little more. Mm, yes, a little more yellow, or even more. Let's even go a little bit. I kind of want that skin tone. There we go to come out. And now the booty. I suppose the booty could be some sort of interesting, maybe emerald type. Color. Let's see. Emerald. 046307. Let's try it. 046307. Enter. Hmm. Well, it looks a little dark, or actually, it's like a corporate green. I don't know. Let's make it a little bit more magical. I know it's not as green as I originally wanted it to, but that's no big deal. All right. And so what I'm doing here is just adding these colors that are the same, that are in the vicinity of the green, right? But variation. This one's like more of a pistachio green, I suppose, or menthol green. What it does in my eyes and in my head and in my taste is just adds a little bit more play within the colors and just allows it for more interesting texture and dimensionality. Here I go again with that word. Guys are like, could you stop? Is that even a word? I gotta like look it up. Sitting here using words. What do you think? You're smart? I don't know. I'd like to think that. All right, let's kind of, but this doesn't make much sense. No, it does make sense. There we go. I'll just gonna make this line a little bit, not that it even matters. All right, and let's grab like a nice, oh yeah, but wait, I want to look up something. Um, Dimensionality. It is a word. Look at that. The state or characteristic of possessing dimensions. Hmm, who could have known? All right. Let's see. Let's give her a little shoe sole. What do we have here? Or well, let's do the foreground first. And it kind of looks like she's floating. And I almost wonder, and I wonder, all right. PC Shore, Jersey Shore. Oh, no, no, no. Let's stay away from anything Planet Fitness. Oh, wait, that's too dark. Okay, and now I kind of like the white. Yes, I'm being lazy. But it's true. I kind of liked the backdrop in white. But I was just wondering if I should just do it an off white. Not that you guys will see much of a difference, because on s- when I stream, the images, the subtle differences that I apply to the images are not very well shown. Can't really see the subtleties while on streaming. Probably because of something to do with streaming quality and speed. And I'm just gonna go ahead and separate these and just give it more of a light shadow type of situation. Hmm. Give her a little lady lipstick. Mm, bless me. See, it's the dust. It permeates. Well, actually, we opened the windows. I guess it's our fault because it's really nice. It's like fall air, but it has its disadvantages. Anyways, getting back to that conversation on language and prefixes and suffixes and roots, uh, origins and etymology of words. I find that I don't know if that well, it is a study. People are obviously there are etymologists out there, and in itself, it's a really interesting endeavor to pursue even on your own. It's just to kind of like try to find meanings, hidden meanings, and mm, intentions behind certain words or most words. Like I was just the other day, my husband and I think we were watching a movie or something, and I noticed like if you take words also with prefix mag, which it might not be a prefix, might be a root. I mean, still, and like look at the words that have that root, and that they all have kind of like magic, magistry, majesty. Although spelled the same, they can still be homophones, and that's a linguistic term. Don't you go start mishearing me? Let me just double check. I don't want to teach you anything. Homophone, each of two or more words having the same pronunciation but different meanings, origins, or spelling. So, like majesty, magister, although spelled differently, homophonically speaking, they still have the same meaning. Um, it's like, what the hell kind of boring drawing session is this? Yeah, I know. Well, I gotta entertain myself. I'm not bored. I like it. Anyways, and so you look at these words and what they have in common, right? It's kind of like pattern recognition in a way. So a word like magic, majesty, magistry, even Magen David, right? Magistr, mag, that would be Russian Ukrainian. Um, Magazine, that was interesting, right? And magazine in English is obviously a newspaper with pictures, photos, and drawings and articles. And magazine in Russian Ukrainian is a grocery store. Talk about Falzami. Um, and but it can also have to do magazine in weapons, right? And you're like, so where's the connection? How did this all come together? I'm just like, I find it interesting that some of these roots, and then they have, actually, I think it came out with more words last time. I'm sure if you just sit down and like rigorously dedicate time to this, you will come up with more words. But words, they're kind of like spells, right? I mean, a spell can be numerical, a spell can be in an imagery, a spell can be a sound, and of course, a spell, one of the most common spells are words, and the way they're said, the context that they're said, and the intention that they were uttered with, I find very interesting. And so it's like one of the most obvious ones is the word hello, right? And how that has been popularized. And this is how most people greet each other in English speaking countries by saying hello without even understanding that the root of the word hello is hell, um, hell, oh, halo, etc. There can be more parallels drawn, and how unknowingly you may be casting a little hellish spell on someone you know just by uttering it, and the universe doesn't really necessarily pay attention to intention. It just receives information in a neutral kind of way. Um, because of like, what the hell did you eat this morning or drink? But anyways, I just find it fascinating. I know like most people don't care about these types of things, and all right, look, this corner looks like Neapolitanic. Is that it? Like that ice cream? At least in Russian, we call it Neapolitanic. It's like when you get the three flavors, the three colors. Anyways, tricolors. Uh, no, don't even get me started on flags. But yeah, words are interesting like that. Same thing with like, television. That was covered. It's pretty interesting. Television, right? A vision is something that comes to you maybe in a dream, maybe in a trance, under hypnosis. Maybe it's someone implanting somebody else's vision in your head. And what's a TV? In a way, it is, information being implanted in you. And how can you trust that information? Is there a rigid system of filtration and high standards behind it? Or is it somebody's agenda that's being just kind of pushed into the stream of your information? Stream of information, also interesting, right? Stream of consciousness. Stream can carry you away. It's difficult. If the stream is powerful, it's difficult to resist it. All of these subtleties I find rather interesting. The same thing, programs, right? Programming, reprogramming. It's what's programming? It's setting certain, imprinting certain information into something or someone, right? And repeating it over and over and over and over and over again ad nauseum, unless the instruction is received and is engraved in your consciousness, right? Channels. This is all have to do with TV. um, watching, right? Channels. What's a channel? A channel is another. It's in a way a portal, um, um, a corridor by which information passes through or is being channeled through. So you pick your channel wisely, and whatever kind of information is being channeled in through the screen is being channeled directly into your subconscious. And a lot of it is sneaky information too. It's like you start reading about how programs are designed and branded and organized and written. And a lot of it is very sneaky methodology, including repetitiveness, including colors, including sounds, um, and like emotional manipulation. And you don't really pick up on it, like, unless you really start listening closely and paying um, full, like, maximum attention to it. It's like, so what is exactly being pumped into your subconscious? Do you often ask yourself that? So it's like language, just like numerology and math, can um, convey a lot of interesting information. Language is just like that. It is means of communicating, created by somebody, right, and imposed on all of us. And it could be neutral, but it can also be malicious, right? Because there is a lot more money made in malice than benevolence. Can't really make money on being pious or benevolent genuinely, right? Because you're just helping out, not for profit, not for gain. So, yeah, language is interesting in that regard. And these are some of the most common words we use in our daily lives, like hello, streaming, programming, channeling, magical. Um, and yeah, I'm sure if you like plug in gematria and all of this, it'll be even crazier. Um, but yeah, words are spells, and their origin should be regarded or questioned. You ought to be careful with what you say and how you say it. Cast, broadcast, right? Casting a spell, broadcasting, um, casting spells to a broad audience, to the mainstream. See, just really strange choice of words there. I find, well, maybe a curious mind will find a lot of things strange with this reality. Um, but, certainly worth questioning, I think. Not even like from a suspicion point of view, like and being paranoid, but just out of sheer curiosity and where it all brings you and um, where does it, what does it tie into? But no, I get it. I get it. Just chilling on the couch, Netflixing is way more interesting than reading or questioning the very canvas of the very fibers of reality. I get it. It's hard to beat laziness and boredom. Actually, it's not that hard to beat boredom. If you're a curious person, you'll never be bored. World is full of perplexities as is. All right. The only thing I'm almost wondering now, let me just erase this line. I think I need to clean my trackpad. My fingers getting stuck on it. All right. I'm almost wondering if I should just quickly. Um, Christy started following. Hi, Christy. Thank you for the follow. I think you might be my 300th follower. So, congratulations on that. Uh, May my stream entertain you. Oh, this is in black. Entertain. That's another interesting word. Um, if you just from phonological point of view, actually, wait, is that the right word used in the right context? I gotta look it up. Yay, daughter is a digital artist and gamer looking for ideas. Oh, cool. Well, great. Welcome aboard. If you have any questions, I mean, I'm kind of like unraveling the mystery of art myself here. So if you want to ask me anything about that, you're more than welcome. I'm just droning on about some sort of linguistic topics today. I don't know why. But talking about art is always welcome. All right, so I'm almost wondering, because I kind of like, there's these ripples in the puddle, and I was just kind of thinking about creating a little more texture in the ripples, and by that, and like I told you guys, this is a really easy, simple little trick that you can do, and the trick is to dance around the same color. So let's say we have this like grayish, muddy kind of blue, and we want some slight, subtle variety in here, and I'll show you what I mean. And I will erase this line afterwards. This is just like a working line. Let's say this is my pencil that I can always erase. And afterwards, we will create a little texture here. See, you can kind of improvise the shape of the puddle, or not in the puddle, the ripples. All right, so roughly this would be my outline. And now I'm just, you can even do it this way. Look, you get a dropper or color picker tool called in this program, and choose the color of the background. Now, what you're gonna do, actually, I'll go into the bucket. You're gonna just slide the color to create a slight variation in it. So it's not gonna be just this muddy, and we probably want to go for slightly lighter. So this is almost a little too much. Let's dial back. So all you want is like subtle variation. You can even throw in a little bit of, that's a little bit too much, a little bit of pink or purple. And the point of this is to create almost like light and shadow play. So it just creates a little more dimension. And of course, after that, I will go in and erase my working outline. All right. Now, really, you can, the sky's the limit if you have the imagination. Um, and usually it's like, I notice with artists too, and I was like that a lot of times in the beginning also, is that you're kind of like afraid of experimentation because it's your own mind is talking you out of experimenting because it's criticizing you already beforehand. So you're like, oh, I'll just be on the safe side and I'll do what others do. I'll do what the theory tells me to do, right? So you never really get to discover your own personal tastes. You kind of just follow in the steps of somebody's others theories and ideas, only because, like, well, there's this certain standard. This is what looks good. This is what works. And mm, partially it is true, but you can't take that to that extreme because then you will steal all soul from your art because you do want to put some personality in there. You don't want just to be another copycat, basket or just some soulless realist that just copied it all uh, from the source. You wanna, even if you're inspired by by a source, you definitely want to put your own personality in it, and that's what I like about movements like impressionists. They were obviously, for example, they were obviously inspired by nature, by sunsets, by the light, and the colors. But they definitely, put their own spin on it through their strokes, through their developed technique, and they experimented. That was experimentation, and they put their personality in it, and that's why in impressionism, uh, that's why it's called impressionism because you get to feel more than see. You get that longing feeling of nostalgia that the artist was going through while looking at that particular, or whatever, fill in the blank sunset, let's say, or take any impressionist abstract art. That's like real beautiful abstract art. That's just pure personality. I mean, that's just like creating um, not from the outside source, but from your own inner source. Like your imagination drives you, and you're just creating all these shapes and colors from that. And that's an entirely different um, rant. But if you will be sticking closer to realism and recognizable, oh, Christy wrote, sorry. Uh, I'm reading it now. All right. Christy says she plays one game obsessively on her phone, even though she has an iPad Pro and a Mac laptop. If you didn't want to spend an arm and a leg, what laptop device do you recommend for gaming? Things like Minecraft, Genshin, etc. Gaming laptops? I will certainly stay away from anything HP because I have one and I don't know, they're just not powerful enough. When it comes to gaming laptops, there seems to be like three staples. Like Acer comes up, one of the first ones, and I have it in my carousel. And I specifically chose ones um, that had the most reviews with the most good vote on it. And yeah, granted, it can be bought, the votes and everything. So I've never owned an Acer, but I've only read really good reviews about it as a company that does quality gaming laptops. I did, however, for a short time, had access to an Alienware laptop. It was a specifically designed, very powerful gaming laptop, and you're talking about um, if you didn't want to spend an arm and a leg, that's probably not something you want to go. Alienware is definitely a really great, powerful devices, laptops, and they're great for gaming. There's like no lagging. Everything's really smoothly. The processing power is immense, but they are expensive. So I would look into Acers, like, and if you scroll through my carousel, you see some of the like 800 ones, which is a pretty good price range for a quality gaming laptop. Another one is Asus, ASUS. Uh, but certainly, I would start with Acer. Uh, Christy says, soulless realist. Haha. Kevin R started following. Thank you, Kevin R. Anyways, yeah, I would definitely, look into Acers. They've had a lot of good feedback which, like I said, I mean, could be bought, but um, some of the reviews you read, you can definitely say people were not bought to say it, but they purchased the product and are writing honestly, like putting in too many details. Yeah, it's strange she plays on the phone. That seems so uncomfortable. I don't know. How do you even enjoy it on the phone? I can't even read on the phone. I gotta like I read on my iPad. Um, yeah, and then like Apple is not known for good gaming computers um, or laptops. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Acer, Asus, and Alienware. That's gonna be like on the more expensive range. Um, and like I said, out of the three, I've used Alienware, and I can't complain. But it was like almost a $3,000 laptop, so you can imagine. Um, it better be great. Um, it wasn't mine though. I just got to use it, and yeah, couldn't really find any flaws with it. Um, all right, here's our puddle. And let me just quickly erase the last of the drawings. But you got to be careful online, though. Like, I'm just not gonna start talking people out of buying stuff online, obviously, because this is where the world is going. Oh, wait a second. Christy wrote, I agree. I don't get it either. I have never heard of those, so I'm going to check out your pics. Very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, look into Acers. If I were you, I would. They offer good price and what seems like quality quality products. But they're specifically designed for gaming. And a laptop and a gaming laptop, there are two different beasts. Uh, yeah, but definitely don't get a HP. I don't know. I got a Hewlett Pack, and it's just awful. I don't know. Worst $500 I ever spent. All right. What the heck was I ranting about? Um, I'll come to me. I'm always in between subjects. All right, let me just finish this. Something about art and laptops. Um, let's check this. Mhm. Yeah, something about abstract art. I was talking about. Yeah, abstract art. That's pure imagination. And I'm not talking about splatter. I'm talking about Miro, Steinberg. Um, who else? Like is a good example of abstract art? White bread. I don't even think Basquiat is that great. You can cast stones at me all you want. I just think he's overrated. I think he just shook some hands, signed some contracts, and bought fame and got pushed on everyone and convinced the majority that he's great. But then you have all these people that are not so known that I think are way more imaginative than that. All right. Here we go. Here's our little puddle. People will be like, "You call this imaginative, really, really?" All right. I think it's time for me to export this. So you guys are going to experience gray screen for a couple of seconds while I'm exporting this. It won't take too long. And what is this called? Whirlpool eyes. All right, cool. All right, I have that. I can close it, and there's no need to save. What else we got here? How is the cat? All right, this is involved. This is not so involved. There's a cat. Um, let's just quickly see. What was this? All right, this like this. I'm just looking through the other ones. Fuzzy inside a Cheshire cat. All right, well, this is kind of goofy. I guess we could try doing this one. It's just a little like Steinberg influenced. Christy, love your honesty and no BS approach. Well done. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Glad there are people who appreciate honesty. Yeah, I'm like, I guess as a salesperson, I would probably not do that well because I would probably be talking you out of buying something that I don't think is that great. Uh, I'll tell you, my husband one time for 2 hours, he thought he could do it. He was like desperate for a job, and the only job that came around that was available to him at that moment was a telemarketing job. I know it's awful already. And he's like, all right, it is pretty low to be a telemarketer, just calling up strangers and imposing hogwash on them, right? Just interrupting their day. But desperate times call for desperate um, needs or desperate action. So he and his girlfriend at the time decided, like, all right, how bad can it be a telemarketer, right? And we need money, and the money will be paid that same day after the work is done. He couldn't handle it. He 2 hours tops is what he could deliver, right? He felt so awful calling people, and people are angry, right? Because first of all, they're getting this call from an unknown number, and most likely it's not good news. Um, and second of all, you're also kind of become a punching bag. But then, that's comes with the territory. That's the job you picked for people because, all right, well, now that you feel like you deserve to interrupt my day, then you're gonna hear the wrath. Um, most people don't have any tolerance. And I get it. I don't have tolerance for telemarketing. Like, you just called me up to sell me something I don't need whatsoever, like, and never needed, never thought I would need it. And now you're trying to convince me that I need it. And here's why. Here's three facts why everyone needs fill in the blank in their life. Um, yeah. So the moral of the story: don't do anything that your conscience is uncomfortable with doing. And 2 hours was tops for my husband, and that was pushing it, right? And some people just don't understand. One time, I tell you what, here's my experience. I'm a Ukrainian, and in Ukraine, when I was a teenager, I was looking for a job online. And so going through these vacancies and all, and I don't know what it's like in other countries, but at the time when I was a teenager in Kiev, looking for jobs, there were a lot of really strange, shady, I would say, vacancies. Stuff like, oh, looking for attractive young girls with passport, foreign passport, that is, to work on a cruise ship somewhere in the Belizean, whatever, in some Caribbean island. Anyways, later on, I found out that I never wrote to these people, never called. Uh, But later on, I found out there's like a lot of Eastern European women held hostage on these cruise ships and then like thrown in strip clubs and their passports are taken away. And all it is like, oh, a dancer on a cruise ship. And then you go there and you might never see your parents again, right? And that happened way too many times. And that became somewhat mainstream for a little while. Anyways, when you were a young Ukrainian person searching the internet, oftentimes you would come up, you would see these types of vacancies, job offers. I never took it. And then one time, this was what my downfall. This is something I'm not proud of. Um, and one time, there was this vacancy looking for a translator. I'm like, all right, that's innocent translator. I'm a linguist. I can do it. Um, Russian or Ukrainian to English. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can certainly do that. And that was it. So I got in contact with these people. They seemed pretty pleasant at the time. And it turned out to be a translating work for a dating um, website. So it's kind of like a mail order bride website, right? In Ukraine. Uh, I forget what it's something to do with somebody's name, like Anastasia or one of those. And the point is that you have this entire database on the website of all these women, and everything is photographed super professionally, and they're all in these like most um, suggesting poses in lingerie, which is strange to begin with, right? Why, if this is as you claim a dating site, why is everything so like geared towards almost it's too erotic, right? It's just too openly erotic. Uh, then I'm like, all right, well, what do I have to do? I'm like, I just want to translate, and they're like, all right. So the point of the job is that you're given a client. I call them clients. It's just some girl. So there's this young girl. She applies to work with this agency. What she does is presents her persona. So let's call her Alena Ivanova. Just making up names, just like John Adams, right? But Alena Ivanova, let's say there's this girl. She's like, whatever. They should all be 18 plus. I don't know if all of them were. But, anyways, so she comes and she just says, like, oh, I would like to lend you my person. And by that, she gives the name, she gives her passport information, and they slap all this makeup on her, put her in all this lingerie. She goes in some hotel and they take all these photos. No, there's nothing like dirty, but there's just like, why are they all in lingerie and these suggestive poses, right? So the website is like 80% plus these kinds of women. So they're all plants. These are not like real women looking for real connection with a foreigner. And everything is geared towards foreigners, mostly America and Europe because that's where the most money are, right? But some Middle East too, like the more richer Middle East. Um, so all right, so where does an translator come in here, right? You're like one, and I'm like, so I get it. There's these women, they give their personality. So an account is created for these women with their photos, with their names, all of that, with the oh, sorry, that was a mistake um, and with all their requirements and what they want, and they have this like gift wish list and all of that, and um, then the translator finally comes in, and the thing is that I thought I was just going to be given a text and I will just translate because that's what translation is. You're given an body of text in one language and you just translate it into another language. That's your traditional translation. What these people wanted from me, they're like, all right, here's this persona, Alena Ivanova. Now we want you, because Alena doesn't speak any English. We want you, white bread. I had a different alias back then, to be that person. So now I'm not just translating, I'm impersonating. So this is a completely different type of job, right? So now I'm given this account and passport information, which is crazy, right? It's entirely crazy. Um, and I'm Alona Ivanova now, although I am not Alona Ivanova. I'm white bread, right? And lucky enough for the foreigners, I'm I have scruples. Like I just don't. I can't just go online. This is now. This is where the telemarketing starts. Like once they explained this all to me, and I worked there 1 month, and I couldn't handle it at all, and I was like losing it by the end of first 2 weeks. What you do is you go on this website pretending to be this other person, and you engage in conversations with these all of these pathetic, miserable, lonely men that can't find women anywhere around. So this is their last resort, and it's a complete scam. Complete scam. There are some kernels of gold there. There are some real women there, but they're not dressed in lingerie, and they don't have any makeup on. And anyways, so and I have to engage conversation. So as a translator, I am being paid hourly by the amount of time, minutes, or whatever engaged with all these foreigners. And so I'm a telemarketer, basically, right? And I didn't know that. I thought I was just going to be translating. I didn't know I was going to have to pretend to be another person and then um, hustle, and lie, just lie to all these guys. And the worst part about it is that the girl that I'm pretending to be in reality has a boyfriend. And I'm sitting here telling them, "Oh, I'm this lonely, whatever, bored, whatever, Lona Ivanova, and I want some company." And the thing is that I'm encouraged not to talk to one guy by the company, but to talk to as many guys as possible and to rip them off in time in conversation because they're paying hourly for the services or whatever, right? And I'm like, this is such a awful scam they're running, and there's all these people on board working for that, and I'm doing it too. For like a month, I did it, and I was having severe um, moral because I was kind of locked in. It was like month minimum, or else they're not gonna pay me. And I already started. I'm like, I can't do it. So I gave him 1 month. I was miserable, completely miserable, doing it. I've never experienced anything so like degrading towards humans in general, like both men and women. And I almost spilled the beans. There's this one Swede, a really um just really like pleasant, intelligent guy, and I saw he was like being ripped off, and I couldn't tell if he understood that he's part of a ripoff or not. And I almost like spilled the beans to him. But then, like at the last moment, I stopped, thinking like, "Who am I? Like, what am I gonna come out and say? Like, oh, sorry, for the last month I was pretending to be this other person, but I'm not, and so I'm just this like unknown person sitting and scamming people on the internet. Awful." And then one time, there was a guy who actually came out to Kiev from Italy to see this Alona Ivanova. So for the last couple of weeks, I'm the one having the conversation with this Italian guy, and she has no clue. Like the real Alona, she has no clue who this guy is, what he wants, what he's all about. And I'm like, I'm the mediator. I'm like the puppet master on like this tiny, tiny scale. And I understand the conspiracy behind it. And to my surprise, when I met the Italian guy, because another thing too, when they go on dates, when the guy actually comes to the country to see the girl, uh, they send the translator with them. So I'm like the security guard and the translator, and I run the show because I understand. Um, I know all these conversations, and she has no clue. And now I have to sit there in front of this other person, come up with stuff, and I'm the money collector. It's just like it's a really scammy business. That Well, I was kind of disappointed in myself for having to for being for doing that. Uh, but I don't know, it doesn't really excuse me, but the only thing is that I can come out and tell you about it. So no one got hurt except for the guy's wallet, right? But the funny thing about the Italian is that first 5 to 10 minutes that we met and we spoke, he said, "Oh, I know it's all a scam. I know like what's going on." And I'm like, Why are you engaging in this if you know that all of this is just scammy?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I got the money and I just like hanging out with pretty women." Like, that is such a strange excuse, or I don't know, explanation. Um, that was it. I know that was like a little bit of a non sequitur, but just about um, honesty. Yeah, I don't know. It's the world it needs more honest people in it, and the internet certainly um, suffering from a lot of mm, deception. And even on Amazon, it's like you can't even like have a product that you like and be dedicated to it because there's so many knockoffs on Amazon. So if you're like subscribed to getting this one, let's say anything like subscriptions, be very careful. Um, like we're subscribed, for example, to get this. I don't know. Let's say just some rose water, right? These are just examples. And then you go into the reviews and you start reading, and there's it's a horror show. People talk about, oh, I've been purchasing this rose water for the last 8 months, and it's been great and working and smelling good. And this last batch come came, and it stinks, and it doesn't do anything, and it's unpleasant on the face, and the formula has changed. Um, and it's just a ripoff. It's a knockoff, and it doesn't work. But you paid the same amount of money. It's kind of like um, it's reminiscent of shrinkflation. If you guys don't know what shrinkflation is, YouTube it. It's a rather interesting, revealing subject. But it's all on the topic of how we're being like deceived monetarily without us even knowing, and like we're being ripped off even in our supermarkets on Amazon. So all of this to say is, whatever kind of product you have your eye on, really do a little bit of investigative journalism on it. Not necessarily maybe journalism, but just like really read the reviews, and not the all the five-star ones that just say great product, but read the reviews that have like a couple of paragraphs. I know it's time consuming, but a couple of paragraphs with detailed descriptions of users' experience with all the pros and cons. And it's still not a guarantee, but it will get you closer to not getting a scammy product. Oh, talking so much today. All right. All right, cat. Uh, all right. Well, I gotta make this line a little bit more attractive. So after that experience, I in general have a kind of a problem lying. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, "Oh, look at me, I'm on my high horse." Certainly have lied in my life, but I can't do it. I'm a bad liar. Like my face fails me. It turns all red, and it just, I probably not gonna be a very good actor because it's just hard for me to, mm, yeah, lie, impersonate. Satirically, maybe I could, but then it would be satire, it'd be too obvious. But anything that harms another person, and just preying on people's desperation, like that website did, or I don't even know what telemarketing is. Um, that's just like aggressive bullying type way of selling people things. So I don't really want to tell anyone what to do and how to live their lives. Um, and if you're gonna be a consumer, at least have standards. That's at least what I think. Um, and research things. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that whatever kind of crap, people contact me, um, like sellers or vendors, what they called on Amazon, with like, oh, sell our product, shill our product, and they send me some kind of, and there are so many useless, utterly useless products out there, and they're sending like these phone stands and something that makes no sense and is cost costs a lot. And why? And I see a lot of people like, yeah, 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 I'll do it, because they do it because they're being sent the product for free to review it and share it with the customers. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend your inventive speculative spirit, but I gotta have um, some sort of um, standard, control, quality control. I can't just like sell whatever only because I'm getting it for free. Actually, I haven't gotten anything for free because I don't. Yeah, because I don't. Um, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't accept any of these offers because I don't think any of the products are good, and I wouldn't want to recommend it to anybody. So yeah, I guess in that way, I'm a bit of a snob. And yeah, and it sucks that people need to do so many things for money. I mean, it sucks that, yeah, it's like, it sucks that the system is set up that way. And so many people demoralize themselves and others in the process just to make a buck. And I'm not even gonna like, you guys know the kinds of platforms I'm talking about, where women are just are exploited and exploiting and are making like a decent living. And I don't know. I don't think that's the kind of contribution I want to bring to the world. What am I gonna die and be like, meet the afterlife judge, be on trial, and be like, so what'd you do with your life? Well, I just kind of took selfies of myself and my butt and collected money for it. Wow, well, that made the world a more beautiful place. All right, am I being more or less not so much? Yes, I'm just talking about my form here while I'm doing these lines. So, yeah, I try to consider all these factors and not just shill out for whatever. If you're going to shill out, at least stand for what you shill. Don't just be completely a complete sellout. But I don't know. I don't know. They say, absolute power corrupts absolutely, absolute money corrupt absolutely. I don't know. They like desensitize you. The wealth desensitizes you, and in a way, you lose that human integral part of you that makes you human. And I don't know. When you're dealing with like multiple millions of dollars, it's just life is already, you've conditioned yourself to just be that, dealing with accumulating wealth, and that's it. No matter what the circumstance is or how you're making that money, none of it matters. What matters is the ultimate result. Look at me. I'm on my high horse today. Um, eh, all right. I would like this to be kind of like a more geometrically sound shape. Is there let me see. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna go creative here. Yes. And see how well I can do. So I'm gonna create like a little rectangle, and you guys can tell me if you follow what I'm doing here or not. Let's see if I will fall with my face into dirt, as they say. All right, so I'm just gonna find like a nice angle here and even it out. Mm, I mean, this is kind of like a nice angle, but how about maybe like that? I don't want to eat into it too much. Suppose we could go here and grab this color and paint this a little bit like that. All right, and maybe now grab this and do the same thing. Oh, look at me. Look at that. Trying to be creative and somewhat being successful in it. All right. All right. The only thing is, should I? Should I? Yeah, let's try to do that. Sorry, I'm talking to myself now. All right. And we'll just even out this tail. And then I'm going to add more to that. But let's first repeat this. What is this? Forget. Yes. Tin, 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 tin. Tin, 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 tin. Oh, stop it. Oh, please. All right. I just want to tilt you. Come on. And something kind of like this. My face probably looks ridiculous right now because I'm trying to focus. All right. Something like this. And again, I will repeat this. Oh, no. That should be white. This should be that. All right. And I will erase that. Actually, I don't even need to erase it. All I have to do is just that. All right. And now that's more like it. We'll do the same thing with the belly. Um, Kirsty wrote, I'm listening to you in the background while doing something else and I'm dying. It's funny and sad, yet true. I also don't know how you draw and talk. I can't. Oh, it took me a while. I can do it right. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for like over a year now. So yeah, practice makes perfect. But thank you for listening to me. Geez, someone's unmuting me. That's nice to know. Um, yeah. So yeah, that story. That's probably what you were referring to as funny and sad. Um, yeah, and when I was quitting too, that's the funny thing about it is when I was quitting that job of being a translator, so-called translator, I came to my bosses and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm quitting. That's it. Like, and they're like, well, we need a reason for you to quit, and and my reason is pretty obvious. And I say, "Well, I just can't lie." And they look at me um, like I'm a lunatic, as if I fell from the moon. And I'm like, "No, no, this is like a legitimate reason. I can't lie. You gotta fire me because can't keep doing it." And I look at their faces, and their faces say like does not compute at all. Like what I just said, it does not compute. But that's not a reason you can't lie. That say like a reason, you've been abused or someone yelled at you, there's pressure that you can't handle. I'm like, no, none of that. Like I just can't lie to guys. I can't just like with a straight face sit there and come up with incredible, crazy scenarios, knowing that the person that I'm pretending to be has a boyfriend, is totally not interested in meeting anybody and just is doing it for the money. And she has the money. That's the weirdest part about it. She like drives a car and everything, which for Ukrainian young girl, it's not very common that you drive a car. That's like you have parents with money. Anyways, yeah, they didn't want to fire me because I mean I was kind of doing well with the scam. I just couldn't handle it. They're like, "Did you have a mental breakdown?" I'm like, "It's not a mental breakdown. It's just can't do it." Like, I don't know how you guys do it. Good for you if you can do it. I don't know. I just, but that's the thing about life too. Like, the more you learn about it, the more you understand that the ones that come out on top are the ones that don't have problems lying or walking on heads, as we say it in Russian. It's a people with that don't have limits in their morality, that their conscience is what they say flexible. Like we're looking for people with flexible morality, and I think like a lot of come on, a lot of career choices and oh, come on, you're gonna drive me nuts. I just want to tilt. Wait, sorry. I see. I sometimes can't just talk and draw. Sometimes I really gotta like focus on it because it's not doing what I wanted to do. All right, better. Okay, but that's too much. I don't need that much. But anyways, it's like game theory. The ones with least scruples always come out on top because they can bend the rules, and um, their conscience is not gonna be um, opposed to that. And it truly is in a world of business and politics. It is a disadvantage to be honest. And you can read that in many, 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 many successful businessmen, politics books, and even other kinds of books that I'm not gonna necessarily talk about here. But yes, it is a really it's a fairly known and common sentiment, um, for successful people to be successful because they don't have a problem with bending some of the rules. Mm. Oh, yes, thank you. All right, it's yelling at me because I didn't rasterize it. All right, let me just come in and rasterize everything so the computer doesn't have to, or not the computer, but the program. Um, right. All right, can I do this now? Thank you. All right, that's funny, but it does need some work. Kitty. Oh, yeah, and the tail. Oh, I think I'm losing my voice a little bit now. So much talking. People are like, oh, you ought to focus on your drawing and talking. Hey, I'm uh I'm trying to self-improve in multiple facets at the same time. All right, I kind of like the white background, and this is not my lazy speaking. This is actually, I just kind of like it. I think it's a good idea, so I'm going to leave it at that. So, on this smiley Cheshire cat note, um, I think I'm going to go now because I still got that other work I do. And also, I've been yapping so much that I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. It's drying out. So I would not want to further grate on your nerves with my fried voice. Actually, I think that's the opposite. I don't think fried voice is necessarily irritating. Depends on the fried voice. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for coming in and chatting with me and unmuting me and listening to me. Christy, in particular, I hope whatever it is you're doing, you're in a good mood and feeling good about your life. And your daughter is expressing her maximum self through art. And thank you so much for writing in the chat and following me. I appreciate it. I was open to pleasant, kind chats. Christy sent me a smile. Thank you. And on this note, I will let you go and I will go and do my stuff. Have a pleasant rest of your Tuesday and week, and I'll see you in a day or two. Thanks so much, and bye bye.